Before we move forward, there is a fix we have to do to the follicles. You may have noticed that the follicles are actually pointing towards the wrong side of the nerd. That's causing our joints to have some weird rotation, so I'm going to clean that up real quick. I'm gonna go into my joints, I'm going to delete the constraints, and I'm going to clean up the rotation by making them 0. After I'm done with that, I'm gonna go into modeling surfaces. I'm gonna go to the reverse direction option, and that should flip our nerve to the right side. So next time when I'm creating my hair follicles, they're gonna be pointing in the right direction, like so. At this point, you have two options. The first one is to redo the setup we made in the previous tutorial, which should work just fine. The second one, which I'm gonna show you in this video, is to add secondary controls in your rig. That way your animator has the option to fine-tune the brow independently from the ribbon if they so desire. So let's go ahead and start. None of my joints have any parent constraints. I'm starting them from scratch because I'm doing a different setup now. I'm gonna go ahead and make the fine-tuning controls for my eyebrows. By the way, throughout this tutorial, you'll see me using some of the tools from my shelf, and I actually linked the blog post in the description of this video, and this blog post has the shelf that you can download. This tool gets the joints that you have selected and creates control curves that are aligned to these joints automatically. It also renames them based on the name of your joints. Here I'm parent constraining the groups of these control curves to the follicles, so that when I move my ribbon around, the control curves are also going to be following the ribbon. However, you can move each of them individually and they're not going to affect the neighboring joints or the neighboring skinning. So it allows for your animator to move things a little bit more independently. It sounds a little confusing now that I hear it coming out of my mouth, but you can skip it to the end of the video if you want to see it working to see what I mean. Here I'm constraining my control curves to the eyebrow joints, and those are the eyebrow joints that actually contain the skinning of Yori's face. The next thing I'm gonna do is create my controls for my ribbon joints. I'm gonna use my script again. And I'm gonna make these circles just slightly bigger than the minor eyebrow controls, but they're gonna be positioned at the same place. Now I'm going to parent constrain my ribbon joints to the controls that I just made. Now as you can see, I can move my ribbon brow, and although the minor brow control follows it around, I can move it independently from the ribbon to give the animator the option to fine-tune the motion. The next thing I'm gonna do is scale constrain my glabella joint to that major ribbon control. I considered doing the same for the other ones, but it didn't really look good, so I skipped that. In the next video, I'm gonna be showing you the process of making the rest of the controls for the upper half of the face.